ahead. You ask the questions, and I'm happy to answer. I've had experience with trauma release. I do that for other people as well, and I took the courses originally to work on myself. But as you know, you can't always do everything yourself. So
Right, right. Yeah, physician heal thyself. It just doesn't
yeah,
work that way. Yeah.
not always, but I've had several attempts at shamans and you psychics, you name it. That when I couldn't do it myself, and I didn't get a whole lot of relief until the session with you.
Oh, wow.
And
Well, that's awesome. Awesome to hear. Um, yeah, I understand because many of the same principles, right, are common around the world for like thousands of years. And some of it comes down to the skill of the practitioner. Some of it comes down to the specific thing that an individual needs at a specific point in life. And then some things, like with the emotion code, right? So that we did with you, it's really it's like emotional surgery, right?
yeah,
It's incredible. Like I don't like to tell people that it's going to do anything spectacular because that raises expectations too much, right? Because it,
exactly.
right? So because it can take many sessions to help someone. We don't know the amount of emotional baggage that they carry. And it's interesting because I cannot retrieve that. Like, for example, it would be cool if I can go into the first session and then say, okay, this is going to only require 2 sessions or it's going to require 27. I can't get that information. Yeah, we don't know because the body needs time to rebalance after each session, and we never know what else is going on in life. So
Well, that's
um,
why I was thinking that a testimonial for me might be helpful because I understand how it unrolls, and how it unravels. And
yeah,
I
fantastic.
see things that other people that aren't familiar with the the process, I would see things that they do not, right?
Right,
So
right, right. Yeah, and you're able to manage your expectations better, which which makes it even more impressive that you got strong results, right? Because you know to temper it a bit. And yeah, so you're like, because placebo effect is very real, very legitimate. So in one regard, it's cool to hype stuff up, because that helps to feed placebo. But we want to have real physical results, tangible, you know, a little bit more than just placebo. We don't want to rely on placebo, right? So it's really good and I love to work with educated, experienced people because they also appreciate the mind over matter and placebo, but they're able to manage their expectations better. And so we can get kind of a more useful feedback when with whatever tool that we're using, because right, I use a lot of tools. So um, anyway, I'll probably just going to use right from the beginning of the video. I'll probably use as the testimonial because you already gave some great insights. So let me tell me or tell us, for the a little bit more about yourself, your background, and then what led you to want to do the emotion code session with me.
okay, well, for about 20, 25 years, maybe 30, I've been into the natural health where, that got into it because of health issues. I am a touch for health practitioner. I'm an iridologist, a quantum biofeedback technician with both the skill and the genius. I have the itera care, which I love, and I've done trauma release stuff. Um, God, the list goes on and I know a lot about herbs, but I'm not a herbalist by all means.
Hmm.
And I'm just sort of well versed, and I've helped a lot of people, particularly with gut issues, which of course is the basis for just about everything, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been doing that kind of stuff on the side, not as full time, because I don't have tickets in anything. I have except for the iridology, and I lost that, got lost in a fire. So um, I don't do it regularly. I just do it for people that come in and help because we own a pizza joint.
Hmm.
And, people come in for information, you know. So I do a lot of helping people with this. I've had really good results. Everything from trauma release to whatever
Nice.
else I'm doing.
Very nice.
And I
Very
did
nice.
I did study the emotion code. I didn't take the course, but I've studied it in great depth. I watched gazillion videos on it and I understand it. But I think for me, I'm not well versed at the dowsing or whatever, however method you do it. Because you
Oh, the
were,
muscle testing tool.
hmm,
I use the pendulum.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I use, but I have preconceived ideas sometimes. So I'm not always that accurate. Right?
Ah, interesting. I understand. The reason why I gravitated towards the pendulum was I kept feeling that I would get in my own way. I couldn't trust myself. So I was trying to distance myself as much as possible. And even with the pendulum, I use it like they'll guide you, they'll say like to rest your arm on something and do it, but I do it unsupported. I try to make my arm out there and then I hold it really still. And it's for me, it's actually incredible to see the pendulum respond
I know you
almost against my will,
never get tired of it, never get stopped being amazed by it. But I
Yeah.
gotta tell you though that the amazing thing was that you were bang on. Like you you and
Oh,
I didn't know each other, right? But
right,
all the
right.
things that you came back with, oh my gosh, they were just so accurate that I could look back and go, oh yeah, right. And I'd phone my brother and say, what happened when I was, oh right. So
Wow. Yeah. That's a
is
little
that
bit
sound?
scary.
It's amazing. I didn't find it scary. I find it fascinating.
Cool,
Of course, that's the kind of thing
cool.
I'm into, right? So
The your subconscious will sometimes require me to get very specific details. And there are other times where it will not allow me because I want to give the client some more information, and sometimes it will not give me the information. And then other times it won't let me release the trapped emotion until I get more information. And I'm like, no, I don't want to know more. I'm almost feeling like it's an invasion of privacy,
yes.
but clearly it only happens when that person really wants that information to come up to the surface. And so I still struggle with getting comfortable with that idea, um, about like when it's asking me, or I should say it's telling me, because I get to the point where it's like, okay, can I release this? Or I'll say, do I need more information? It says yes. And I'm like, really? I have to, okay, okay. And then I have to think of questions to ask. Sometimes it's very challenging when I'm
Yes.
trying to figure out what does it want to tell me, before it will allow me to release this information. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Well,
So
what's
in your,
beautiful about your technique is that the stuff that I do when I do a trauma release, more often than not, you have to get right into the emotion and get dirty about it, feel it to release it. With
mm,
the emotion code, you don't have to relive that trauma, not even one last
right.
time. It's just gone, right?
Yes, yes,
And
exactly.
and it's not always instant. I mean, it can be, but it's
Mm,
not always instant. Sometimes it slowly rolls out, but you can see because a lot
yes,
of the things that I was dealing with were blocks that kept major things happening in my life. And they slowly rolled out, but indeed they did, right? So
that's awesome.
every time something happened, I go, yes, 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 that's what I want.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, it really is like, so one thing I guess I should explain along those lines, like you're talking about how they like roll out. So usually when I do a session, I also have to ask how much time does the person need to rest before I can even attempt another session? Because the body is rebalancing And we don't even know exactly what's going on as it reharmonizes after that. And it takes like anywhere from 3 to 7 days usually. I haven't seen one take more than 7 days. I just had one yesterday actually, and they said 7 days before I can try anything again. And then sometimes, right, they'll feel something a few days later or a week later, etc. And then, of course, you also get a domino effect, right? Because then you pull them out, then the body shifts, things shift around, and then you start to you feel better, and that can kind of gain momentum. Yeah, it's really interesting.
And what
Hmm.
also go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
What I found is that for me, because I'm the kind of person that researches stuff to get better and stuff like that, my physical healing, I had a bladder infection that just would not go away, no matter what I did. And that went on for a long time until we did our session. But my healing came not in form of just going away, but it came in the form of 2 or 3 times all of a sudden, bang, try this, try this, try this. And they were things that I had already tried, but I didn't try them together. So when I put them together, bang, gone,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So for me, it was my higher self telling me, well, you did it right, but do it, put it together, right? So
Right.
that's the form that the healing came. It wasn't
Nice.
necessarily just, oh, it's gone, like some of it is, right? Sometimes just disappears while you're
Right.
able
Right.
to doing the session. But
Right.
for
Yeah,
me,
it's very
but
cool.
that's
Right.
my
It's
mode of healing. My mode of healing is every I get something, I research it, and then I can help other people figure it out because that's the way my I work, right? So
nice.
that's
Yeah,
the
more
whole
holistic. It's a more holistic approach.
yeah.
We have all these many different pieces of the puzzle. Sometimes I like to say like the trapped emotions are just like the last straw. They're one of many things. So because the same thing I have had clients and some of my other testimonials, they did a million things and they did make progress, but they were still hitting a
Yes.
wall. And then did the emotion code and boom,
Yep.
like wow. Yeah. And I think, even people that don't believe in energy healing still totally understand that stress is a huge factor in disease. I mean, that is openly admitted in mainstream medicine.
Yes.
It's no secret. It's just that when we get into the details of it, if we tie it to anything Eastern or traditional, suddenly people don't believe in it, in many cases, which is unfortunate because it's all connected, um, and it works. Yeah, it
Yeah,
works.
that's probably a lot of what, I tell my clients, when I'm working with people is that, like, okay, right now I'm going to tell you, I know you've got a lot of stress. And you're like, well, how do you know that? Because you're
Hmm.
sick.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're sick. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's very obvious. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is the major toxin for me. Like I always say that we need to detox. And well, of course, when I say that word, people just imagine, physical poisons, but it's like, no, no, it's also, toxic emotions, right? It's a lot of intangible things, these other energies, these negative energies they're toxins, they're trapped inside the body, and we just need to pull them out somehow. And right, we have so many different techniques. Some are a bit messier than others, some take longer than others.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm so excited that you had a good response, and actually quite quickly. Like I said, I've had other clients where I've had to do many sessions with, but we didn't do. I forget how many sessions did we do?
You did two
Two.
full sessions, which I think entailed four, technically, I guess. Four times
Oh,
4.
okay, right, okay. So we did. Gotcha.
Yeah. And I just to qualify for other people that my results came, I think it took over a little over a week before I noticed any, like I felt it with my own self, but before I noticed anything uh, visible, tangible to somebody else. It was about a week before I started noticing things, and it was just little things. But and then they're still continuing to roll out very
Mm.
slowly. Like it's just little things happen that like I think the money one when I was stuck because of money. Remember, I think it was in the first week, $200 just fell into my lap,
Oh,
and
right. I
then
remember that. Yes.
and another one was trying to get my dad's truck sold for some reason. I could not sell it, and then just 3 weeks ago, somebody came and bought it, and I got the price I wanted, and I hung
Nice.
out because I knew that I just knew it was going to keep rolling out, right? Because I can still feel little things happening that other people might not notice. They might already think, "Oh, wow, so that was a long time ago. It couldn't have anything to do with that." But I know for sure it did because issues I had went on for years. And
Right.
the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, get the same results. Well, I
Hmm.
finally figured I must be insane because I kept doing that. But I thought after the session, I tried it again, and bang, you started happening.
Nice.
So there's no doubt in my mind that it's the sessions that did that for me. No doubt.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. And now you're right, and then you benefit from the momentum of that progress. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, very good, very good. Well, yeah, I hope to do more sessions with you in the future. In
Well,
fact, I have to do myself too because as we started out with the conversation, we often neglect ourselves,
right.
right? So I'm the last one that gets any attention from my own efforts. But I know I definitely need to do my own. And I'll sometimes be like if I have trouble connecting with emotion code stuff, or if I feel any uncertainty, I'm like, you know what? Let me go check myself right now, see if there's anything interfering with my ability to do a session. Because I have to be in a good space. I have to make sure I'm not being distracted, that I'm not too tired, make sure I'm hydrated, etc. So and then it's much easier for me. Because there are
Right.
times when I just can't. Sometimes I can't do it because the other person is not ready that day.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I go to check. Like they might consciously they'll give me permission, but when I go to connect, they'll say, "Nope, you can't release trapped emotion." Like maybe I even make the connection, and then I ask, and they say, "Nope." I was like, "Okay,
Oh,
we'll try
well,
tomorrow."
I thought to myself, I was more than ready, but you said, "No, can't do anything for a week," or something like
Ah,
that.
right,
I remember you said that. I went,
right,
"Okay, I get it." All right.
right, right.
And
Yeah, it's
the
pretty cool.
subconscious has to sort of go, "Oh, all right, maybe I don't know why, but
The higher mind knows, right,
I
what
know."
we're ready to handle. Yeah.
I definitely want more sessions. It's gonna come when a little bit more of the money thing.
Yeah, well,
I
come
got
when
I
it's
got one
ready.
more vehicle to sell, and once that happens, I'm getting another session. Bang on.
Nice. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I'm just so glad to hear that it went so well, without needing to do so much more. Like I like working with animals because the results are quicker.
No preconceived ideas.
Yeah, exactly. And they're less complicated. Like we carry so much emotional baggage that it's like, wow, oh my gosh, we can have hundreds or thousands of trapped emotions. And it's not that we have to empty them all out. We just have to get below a certain threshold to where the body can function normally again. And so it's just with people, it's like, wow, you just don't know how long that journey is going to be. Animals are so simple. It's
Have
great.
you ever done any work with paradigm shifts?
I have not, but that's interesting because the emotion code, we have the emotion code, then we have the body code. This is
Right?
all based on the same thing. And the emotion code is absolutely the most powerful thing for me because even when doing the body code, and I'm not certified on the body code, so I can't, advertise and sell. I can't say that I can do it, but I've been practicing the body code for a long time already. Actually, you could see my review on the book, The Body Code, on their website.
Okay,
They
I'll go.
they
Yeah.
they published my review there. And the body code is amazing. And it so it uses the same exact technique, but it goes after, it looks for other negative or other trapped energies, and even go like things like curses, and all kinds of different stuff. Um, and it does also pinpoint if it's a belief issue, like a paradigm issue, but it recommends you use another method. Yeah, so it'll say, okay, there's a belief here that you want to get out, and then they'll suggest using something else. It's not built into the body code.
Oh,
Now,
it's too bad.
however, uh, it's going to be later this year. It's actually this year they're starting to release the belief code. So yeah, yeah. So that one's
Can I be a
much
guinea pig?
more. Huh?
I want to be your guinea pig.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you know what? When I do my certifications, I do a bunch of free stuff for people. So on that one, yeah, I'll hook you up with some free sessions for that, because I like that too. Because realistically, so the way our persona works is we have the beliefs, the emotions, and then our thoughts. And so beliefs and emotions, and of course there are still all these other energetic issues that we have to deal with. But wow, beliefs and emotions are so powerful, and they all work together, right? I mean, like we consciously we use mantras and techniques like tapping to try to reprogram the beliefs, and I love things like that. I love mantras and meditation. I I love TFT. The tapping method is really
I
nice.
do too. I love it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
work
yeah,
with that as well.
yeah. So that's really nice. But I imagine, like, even after trying to see into the future, I can imagine the emotion code will probably still be my number one thing, because we're emotional beings. We're here to experience, to have emotional experiences. If we're not having stressful emotional experiences, there's almost no purpose to
Well,
come into this
right?
world, right? So I imagine that's always going to remain my number one thing, and probably the belief code is going to be a pretty close second to that.
Well, I can understand why, because you don't have to get down and dirty with it. Like you say, on your thing, that you can do it
Yeah.
while I'm sleeping. It doesn't really matter. We don't even
Yes.
have to be in the same country. You can do it
Yes.
while I'm sleeping,
Right. Right.
right?
I love that. I love that idea too. In fact, I try. I'm glad you mentioned that about the sleeping thing, because if I can, I will try to do it while the person is sleeping. So, because sometimes, and this actually happened to me and my brother, especially after the first session, people will crash. Like I literally, I face plant. I never sleep on my stomach. I always just sleep on my back like a vampire. But in the middle of the afternoon, after my first session, which was remote, um, and I was like, wow, you know what? I just got to just lay down for a minute. I face planted on the bed, and I went out like a light. That was it. And
I
I don't.
noticed that too.
It was crazy. You've had that similar
Yeah,
experiences.
I've noticed that too. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The days that you worked on me, I would know before you told me to
Oh.
begin, right?
Oh. Okay.
I would just wake up and go, oh, something. There's been a shift.
Cool.
Something's different, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love to do, if I can do it in the client's evening, I'll try to do it. But really, for me, my morning is best for me to work on it. It's because then at nighttime I'll sometimes get too sleepy to do it. Yeah. So like I said, my state of mind has to be good. I need to be able to focus and connect, and that has to do with my experience. And I'm slower than other people. Like, if you watch Dr. Nelson, or his son Josh, they're so quick,
I
and they
know that.
yeah, and they do this kind of right, and they do this very quickly, and I'm like, oh man,
No, I'm not
I'm
there either.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I prefer the comfort of taking my time. There's something reassuring about it. And again, that's my own insecurity, right?
Yeah, that's okay if that's what works, right?
Right, right, exactly, exactly. So, and it's working. Clearly,
Yes,
you're yeah,
it's working
yeah, yeah.
very
So that's
well.
yeah,
Working very
awesome,
well.
awesome. Well, and thank you. Let me thank you for being willing to share because, of course, it's very private these types of things. So I don't have many clients that want to be on video. I can't even get my own brother on video. So, um,
Well, I
but
don't mind because I think that if I can help somebody, right? Because that's what
mm,
I do. I help people. And I help people sometimes by sharing my own tragic stories. And if
right.
I can help somebody by sharing this, by all means. I mean, even if anybody out there wants to contact me, find me on the Facebook thing or whatever. You want to put a link on there because I'd be happy to talk to anybody about it if they want.
Cool. So yeah, I'll put your name and stuff. It's okay. I think that's great too. Like I think you can use this for people that you work with. I think it even helps to validate the work you do because it shows your awareness, your openness, your experience, your ability to integrate different things, etc. So I think that's reassuring for, your own clients or potential clients. I think
Yes,
that's good.
I
Right.
have to agree.
We're all always learning, right? So including myself, right? So I'm already, like I said, I'm already looking forward to the next tools. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. I think we're in of course we're in a very very hard time, but we're in a time of change. And
wait.
there's yes, yeah, good things are on the horizon. There's more
Oh,
suffering ahead, but we're
I
headed
know,
towards
but
bliss.
it's coming.
Yes,
Not
it
fast
is.
enough, but it's coming.
Right, 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 exactly. But it'll be here. We all need to go through and learn a few more things, I guess, right? The trouble serves a purpose, right?
Yes,
So
well, I'm going to practice up on my dowsing because I really definitely want to take the emotion code. I really want to do that.
cool.
Oh, and
Very
the
cool.
new the new one you're talking about, I want to do that one too. But
Nice.
that'll come with time.
Yes, very nice, very nice. Yeah, exactly. And we got all the time in the world, right? No need to rush. So we'll just take it a step at a time. Yeah, I should let you get back to your family. All right.
And
So
my garden, I got to bring the garlic in, garlic
okay. Yeah,
strips.
I feel bad. Yeah, I pulled you out of your garden.
It's
Um,
okay.
but yeah, thank you again. That's great. Was there? I think we covered everything. I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to add, or if you wanted to get into any details.
Offhand, I think we kind of covered the basics. Like I say, if anybody's got questions, they're more than willing to, they can contact me or you, obviously. And if they got questions, and go from there. I think.
Right. All right. Sounds cool. Yeah, you're right. You're out there, so yeah, you can
Yeah.
fill in the details later. Very good. Yeah, we've already been talking for like 30 minutes. So
Oh no.
oh yeah. I
Sometimes I
always
just
think
sort of put up.
I want to get these short. I'll have to do a trailer. I need like a 1 minute video just to get people's attention, so that they'll be a little motivated to watch. But yeah, thank you again for sharing your
Well,
experience.
thank you. Thank you so much for the healing. I mean, that was just amazing. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I look forward to working with you more, and enjoy your garden.
I will.
All right. I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks,